This is John Levison for Try247.com. We're in the USA, in Florida, for the launch of Challenge Daytona, and quite appropriately for the launch of a US race. We have a US Pro, so Andy Potts, thank you for joining us for a few moments. New race here. Just tell us about your interest in racing here at one of the most famous locations in the United States.
Yeah, so it's not only famous in the United States, but it's famous worldwide. The backdrop is going to set the stage and set the emotion of the day next year. So the reason I wanted to get involved with it all is because of I'm interested in trying something new every year, experimenting, putting myself out there, giving a challenge for myself. And the race calendar kind of winds down around October, but this race will be offered at the second weekend in December here in Daytona, and I'm interested to see like how the community accepts our sport and see how many fannies we can get from in the stands to in the race, and that for me is going to be a real big hoot for me, and the fact that we get to finish on the checkered line. Yeah.
Obviously NASCAR is huge in America. I don't think for us in the UK we can possibly appreciate just how big. Just tell us a little bit about your interest. I know you're not a huge fan, but you do follow a bit of motor racing, and you're well aware of many of the drivers that take part in the sport, both of motor racing and of triathlon.
Yeah, so oftentimes you get age group races and they have their own category, and then you get the professional race, and hopefully we'll get a little F1 and NASCAR pitted against each other, I guess, to use the pun. So what I'd love to see is getting the guys who are behind the wheel to get them out on the racetrack on their feet, and to feel really how impressive the venue is that they get to race on, because they're whipping around the track, low 200s, right at 200 miles an hour, and when they have to self-propel, I want to know what the difference is for them between pushing the gas and having the engine respond, and then pushing the gas and having their own engine respond. It'll be great to have the voices and the faces that are familiar with Daytona to get here and race on their own, with their own arms and their own 2 feet.
Let's just reflect a little bit on your own racing this year, because we're not long actually past the Ironman World Championships.
Right.
You had a fantastic race this year, and
thanks.
I think we can say in the veteran stages now, I think you're coming up to 41, I think you told us on the way here.
Yeah.
But 7th place, your fastest ever time, and I think first American once again, if I'm not mistaken. So you must be thrilled with how your career is going, your long career,
right?
And it's still going strong.
Still racing great. I did my best time ever in Kona by 7 minutes, which was a real thrill. Maybe about 6 minutes, but there are so many aspects about the sport of triathlon that excite me, and one is that I'm seeking for constant improvement on the physical side, improvement on the mental side, and then now I'm just starting to get a little bit more balance in my life and getting more steady with my efforts. And I know that a good workout is as likely to be forgotten as a bad workout, so I just kind of keep plugging along. I got the never say die attitude, which really pays dividends in Kona, and the fact that I'm getting faster at 40 is super exciting. I don't see the end in sight, and I'm going to keep this gig up as long as possible.
And through your career, you've raced at all of the distances.
Right.
We saw you, I remember back in, I think, first year of the World Series in Washington. If I'm way back, you were up in that front group with Alistair Brownlee. We've seen you being a 70.3 world champion. We've seen you winning Ironman races, non-drafting, Olympic distance, everything. everything. What excites you these days, or are you still as keen to do everything?
You know, I'm excited to go fast. I think that's what gets me really going. Is like how fast can I go? How hard can I push my body? And I think I really thrive in that environment where you're at your limit, and it's not so much like just getting up and touching your limit and then backing off. It's a matter of getting up to your limit and then holding it for as long as possible. And what I found with the right training, the right background, the right progressions is that I don't really have, I don't know my limits yet, and that's what's exciting about my potential is I don't know where it ends.
Have you found you've had to make changes over the years as you've got more experience? Obviously, you've built the years of that aerobic background.
Yep.
You've got older, maybe the recovery and injuries are perhaps a little bit different. So do you have to train differently now to, for example, what you may have done a decade ago?
You know, for one thing, I know I'm training smarter, and for me that's really important. Setting up the right foundation. I continue to challenge myself on a daily basis. I think that the knowledge base has improved. Physically, things have shifted in terms of my weight and where my weight is being distributed. I'm getting smarter with my eating, smarter with my sleeping, and smarter with my whole approach to staying injury-free and really keeping mentally engaged. So I think that those are the big things, is being excited on a daily basis, not going so far to the point where you're so petered out by a hard effort that you can't come back the next day and repeat. So I think consistency, especially in the sport of triathlon, is key, and yeah, that's helped me with my career for sure.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing you here 12 months time racing around the Daytona International Speedway. Good luck with what's left of 2017 and into 2018, and let's look for some more good performances next year from you.
I hope to bring it next year just as much as the years past, and it's been a pleasure. Thanks, John.
Cheers.